What can you tell Missourians about the stay-at-home order right now? It goes to the 24th, I believe. Is there some way that we can move past this right now? Are you at a point where you're looking at these models that you say are not correct, where you can maybe give some hope?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're looking at that now. We're in the process right now seeing how we're going to reopen Missouri. And I think when you look at, let's just say the 90 of the 114 counties in the state of Missouri that are mainly third-class county, there's only been 5 deaths in those counties of those 90. The remainder of them are in the urban areas, the bigger counties, which we know that that's where this goes to, is in those areas, and just because of the multitude of people that are together there. We know that. So you've got to be able to look at that data and realize that, 87% of these cases are in 15 areas in the state, and 90 counties out there have less than 12% throughout all counties. So that's why I say when you talk about Missouri, it's one thing to be a mayor of a metropolitan area, which they have to make their decisions and their choices. But for the governor, you got to take all that into consideration, how diverse Missouri is. And it's just important that you analyze all that and try to figure out how are you going to reopen the state of Missouri, which we're planning for that now. We're literally planning to see how we're going to reopen this state. But I can tell you the one thing it's going to come down to that's essential is the testing portion of it. People are going to have to feel safe to want to come back out and get into the economy and go back to work and back to where we need to go. But it's going to come down to testing in large numbers to be able to do that.
How are we going to get to that point of testing, Governor?
Yeah, I think one is supply and demand is going to catch up with itself. I do believe some of this Abbott testing with some of the capsules that's coming throughout the state, you're going to see that more come online towards the end of this month in the next couple of weeks. I instructed both Director Williams and Director Richardson earlier this week that I want to double the capacity of the testing we're doing now. So take those numbers from 3,000 or 4,000 a day up to the 8,000 to 10,000 bracket. And I'd like to see that done in a week. And that's using every resource we can, every possibilities to get the equipment in here to do it, and really just making that a priority because we got to get that done to be able to really reopen the state of Missouri.
Can you foresee this happening by May 1st?
Yeah, you know what? We'll evaluate this just like we did before. Every day we're looking at this. We'll take another look on the 24th, decide, okay, are we going to extend this? Are we going to open up part of the state, part of it not open? I mean, all those decisions will come. But, I think the reality of it is you have to really go with what's really happening in the state of Missouri. So I would say sometime in May, let me just say this, I would say sometime in May we will start opening this state up. But I think, again, I want to make sure it's clear that I think the testing will play a huge role in opening up the state again.
How will that look like, Governor? I mean, is it possible to tell people right now, opening it back up? Because I'm sure it has to be done slowly.
Yeah, and it will. I'm saying right now what we're looking at is phases, like what portions would you open up? And then you look at the unemployment numbers along with that. We know the service end of it is one of the main factors that need to come back online because that's where a lot of the unemployment numbers are. Retail would fall underneath that and manufacturing. So all of those play a role in how we open this back up. And then again, you're going to have the confidence of the people out there to say, okay, are we willing to go to a restaurant right now? Am I willing to take my family in there in a crowded area? Or are we going to see businesses do differently, regulate how many people can be in square footage or in certain space? I think it's going to be a combination of things. But, right now, what I see is I think in May there's going to be a good chance to reopen part of the state.
What about state government? What kind of plans?
Yeah, I mean, state government, we're doing everything we can to make sure the state is functioning with all the departments there is, and we continue to work on that every day. I think the legislatures, you're going to see them come back, which I'm glad to see that. I think they need to be here right now in part of a crisis because every one of them represent a group of people, and they deserve to be represented right now in the state capitol more than ever. So I'm glad to see the legislators coming back. But government's going to keep working. I mean, the everyday lives of people that are affecting government, whether it's the child division, whether it's the foster homes, whether it's the prisons, whether it's mental health, whether it's Department of Revenue, all those are functioning things that have to be done daily, and we're going to continue to operate.